Hello, welcome back to another video. Today we got some good old yellow flash. I fucked up. Hollywood star Jennifer Lawrence regrets her Trump derangement syndrome, says movie industry is burning. And honestly, are you shocked genuinely that, no one wants to go watch your shitty movies? Because one, your political opinions are always atrocious, and then you have like a massive mask off moment, or you show everyone just how much of a shitty human being you are because you just can't keep your mouth shut about politics, and you can't seem to, keep the inside voices in your head, and you have to go out and every time you see Trump say anything or do anything, be like, Trump bad, he did this, and then you immediately get, community noted on X, or you get called out by the internet being like, you have no clue what you're talking about. That's actually fake. Those kids weren't in cages under the Trump administration. That was actually Obama's administration. What are you even talking about? And then it just clowns on them. Then they see how idiotic these people are, and they're like, nah, honestly, I could use my money better. Why go pay God knows how much for a movie ticket, as well as popcorn, soda, concessions, what have you? And that's if you're going alone to go watch one of these movies. If you're taking other people with you, like if you're taking your husband or your wife or your girlfriend, boyfriend, or even your kids to go see one of those movies, that's extra stuff you have to buy. Those are extra tickets you have to get. Those are extra concessions you have to buy, depending on the situation. Like if you're there with your significant other, you can obviously just share a large bucket of popcorn and a large drink. But if you're there with kids want their own stuff and whatnot. So you got to buy their own individual concessions and all that stuff. And that all adds up. And then you go in, you watch the movie, and then you end up regretting taking your kids to go see that movie because they're being shown things that realistically they shouldn't be shown in a kid's movie. Like, let's say Lightyear, for example. Then, yeah, you end up feeling like you just threw money down the drain and you were better off just taking them to Target and buying them both a toy. Or, if you're single and you went alone, you were better off probably just buying that video game you wanted or what have you. Taking your significant other, you're like, shit, I could have just taken this my partner out for a fucking walk and that would have been more entertaining than this movie. But yeah, let's see what's going on with the Lawrence.
So this past October, I don't know if you knew this or not, but it was kind of a record low for October box office. Nobody showed up. This past weekend was really, really bad.
Look at this. Honestly, bro, you know what's funny? They're talking about Regretting You at number 1 with 8 mil, and then Black Phone 2 at 8 mil. So the only difference between Regretting You and Black Phone 2 is $100,000 difference from the looks of it. And that is sad. Not gonna lie. Like, that's the difference. And bro, dude, this is a Bloomhouse film too. Like, damn. And you know what's funny? I've heard nothing but like, I'm not gonna say positive, but I'm also not gonna say negative reviews about Black Phone 2. I've heard like one person say like, oh, like it feels like a sequel that just shouldn't have happened because it makes no sense if you've seen the first Black Phone. And I'm like, you know what? Valid. I haven't seen the first Black Phone, but I'll take your word for it, And it's just a whole bunch of like meh reviews. Like they're not really mad or rather they're not really good or bad. They're just neutral. It's like it's like a 5 out of 10. Like it's in the middle. It's not good. It's not bad. It's something to like just shut your brain off and watch. But like you'll start questioning it if you've seen the first one.
It's Regretting You pulled in 8.1 million. Black Phone 2 pulled in 8 million. Not a big weekend.
Yeah, I don't want to compare them to these movies, but I am, because they're like different genre and whatnot. But like, damn, dude, we went from Marvel making like breaking records and whatnot with the movies they were making, like all the Marvel movies, like pre Endgame, um, all the way up to Endgame, and everything before that. They were like smashing numbers. Then after that, it just all sort of went downhill because it feels like they don't know what they're doing, and it sort of feels exactly like that with every movie that's come out since Endgame. It's like it feels like they have an idea in mind for what they want the movie to be, but then the execution is so poor that you're better off questioning why the movie even came out to begin with and why they didn't just scrap it like these. Because they have like the issue is they have no substance. They don't draw you in. They're just boring and bland. It's like and I hate to say this, but it's the same story. You've seen it, seen in other movies that are probably like Regretting You and Black Phone 2. The same premise, same concept, it's all very generic and bland. And it's a tale as old as time, but it's like you can say that about other movies and whatnot, but at least they throw in some fun twist and keep it interesting. But and these just don't. These are just like, I feel like I've seen this movie before with these actors in it, and then you think back to another movie that's exactly like this one, and you're like, wow, it's literally the exact same thing. The only difference is the setting and some minor differences to the theme.
And a lot of people are freaking out about this one. I think the reason nobody went to the theaters this past weekend is pretty obvious. You had a crazy World Series final.
Yeah, the Dodgers game. No one's gonna go. Everyone wants to watch the Dodgers game. No one's gonna go to the theaters to watch it. So yeah, in this one instance, yes, you can't really compare these numbers. It's like it would be like it's like what other indie devs. It's like if they hadn't done what they did during Silksong, where instead of pushing their games out like a month, so that way Silksong doesn't take away their revenue because everyone's waiting for Silksong. It's like if they had released their game a week after Silksong, knowing that everyone's going to be playing Silksong for the next month, and then being like, damn, look at our revenue. It's at an all-time low. It's like, well, yeah, what did you expect? You released it when everyone was going to be doing something else with their time and money. Same thing here. It's like these movies aren't going to do well if there's something else like the World Series for or not the World Series, but like, the cup, whatever cup it was for baseball. Well, the Dodgers game. It's like it's a Dodgers game. It's gonna be busy regardless, and people are gonna tune into that over other stuff regardless.
With like 11 innings. It's crazy.
Yeah.
And then you had Halloween on Friday. So, I mean, everyone's busy. There's big things going on. So that, I think, is a big reason why nobody went this past weekend. But I think you're a fool if you're ignoring the fact that no one's showing up for these movies. You had a lot of big movies this month that just tanked.
No, wait, what the fuck? Okay. Chainsaw Man, the movie, only made 30 mil? Wait, I feel like this is what fucking days are these? Genuinely, what the fuck? Wait, what are these? Comscore at the time of this post is still working through the numbers. Figured out estimate this morning. The show titles lowest of 2025 March. These can't. No, I don't get why they're showing this unless they're like trying to compare like releases that have. But like Back to the Future's up here. But Back to the Future's an old ass movie. Unless they're doing like a re-release in like theaters, if that's what they're doing. I'm just really confused as to why like Back to the Future's up here, and so is K-pop Demon Hunters, because that's Netflix. unless they actually did like a theater showing and with like IMAX and all that stuff. But if that's the case, people would just rather watch it at home on Netflix. They're already paying for Netflix and it's much cheaper, so
Tron, Ares, Roofman, one battle after another. Those are supposed to be huge hits. They weren't. And Hollywood doesn't help themselves out when they get overly political. They turn a lot of people off. Look at Harrison Ford here. Harrison Ford launches profanity-laden attack on Trump's climate policies. Now,
bro, why? No. Oh, this was literally 4 days ago as of recording this. Okay, now I'm severely interested. Let's see. I'm curious. I'm curious now. Let's see here. Harrison Ford is 83 years old. Why do you care? Genuinely, you're 83 years old. Why do you care about Trump's climate policies? Genuinely. I don't mean to be that guy, but you're 83 years old. At best, you probably have another 20 years left in you before you pass of old age. That's why I say 20 years, 103, I feel like. But like, you could be due any day now. Why are you going on this Trump attack at the age of 83? Like, if this was like some actor that's like in his 20s or 20s to 30s, this makes sense to criticize Trump's climate change policies. Regardless of what your stance is, it's like, whatever. If you are actually that passionate about the climate change and all that shit, because you're young and this affects, our future, yes, I can give it to you on that premise, regardless of whether you have TDS or not. I could be like, whatever. But like, Harrison Ford's 80 fucking 3 years old. How old is Lawrence? Let's see. Jennifer Lawrence is 35 years old. If she did something like that, like climate change and whatever, and suddenly took an interest in climate change, I'd question it, but I'd be like, you know what? At least she is caring about it enough to voice her opinions and whatnot. And if she doesn't back down or change her stance and she actually, starts doing stuff to like make the world better when it comes to like climate change and all that, like if she starts fucking donating to like cleaning up the ocean, planting trees and doing all that stuff, then yeah, I could give it to her. She's young. This does affect her and she wants to ensure that, her kids and her grandkids have a cleaner earth. Whatever. Harrison Ford, you're 83. This is something your like kids and grandkids should be doing, not you.
Harrison Ford has been going almost as hard as Mark Hamill.
Another one, Mark Hamill. Also, probably I'd say I want to say 10 years younger than Harrison Ford. Let's see here. Mark Hamill, 74. Okay, so 83 to 74. I was close. I was close. I was off by a 9-year difference. But still, sort of the same thing. Why do you care this much about these issues that realistically your kids are the ones who should be more concerned about, and your grandkids are the ones who should be realistically more concerned about? Why are you caring more than them? I mean, then again, who knows? Maybe they do care, and maybe they are doing, they're actively doing things about it, and they're voicing their opinions, and we just don't see it because, they're not Hollywood actors like Mark Hamill and Harrison Ford and Jennifer Lawrence. But at the same time, it's like, I feel like we'd hear something about that, if your kids really cared, I feel like, and you actually cared about these issues, I feel like you'd rather, instead of criticizing Trump, would, boost up your kids and be like, yo, my son just, opened up this charity that's gonna go and plant trees in California where the forest fires affected the forest the most, or some shit like that.
These past few months, I really don't get it because he's never really been like this. Maybe he has, and I just don't remember it. But for the most part,
I was about to say, I mean, he did shit on Jim Carrey once for their acting, but that wasn't Harrison Ford. That was someone else. That was crap. He's the actor from Men in Black. I forgot his name. Let's see here. But he was Tommy Lee Jones. It was Tommy Lee Jones because he was in the Batman movie. One of the movies. He was in Batman Forever and he plays Two-Face, and Jim Carrey plays a Riddler. And he was like, I don't like you. He like told Jim Carrey he didn't like him. Cause Jim Carrey's more of a goofy actor. And by goofy, I mean he like instead of like he doesn't take his roles, quote unquote, as seriously as Tommy Lee Jones believes he should. Because, well, Jim Carrey's a comedian and, you know, first and foremost, and Tommy Lee Jones is an actor. But yeah, let's get on with it.
Especially like during Trump's first presidency, I don't remember Harrison Ford ever really saying anything. He just flying his planes and crashing them as usual.
Jesus Christ.
Now he's talking shit. And it's like, what are you doing this?
Yo, I think too soon, Yellow. Too soon, Yellow Flash. Too soon. Shit. And what I mean by that is that you know, there was a plane in I think it was there was a plane crash. In son of a bitch. Oh my god, all this stuff on Google that takes up your screen. It's like, I don't care. I don't want AI crap. In Kentucky, there was a plane crash in Kentucky yesterday. And I'm just like, whoa, Yellow Flash, too soon for the plane crash jokes. Or not yesterday, never mind, that was earlier today. Wait, what the fuck? No, these are stories, these are updates, never mind. Yeah, never mind. These are updates that were just made recently. I'm an idiot. The plane crash was yesterday. Yeah, UPS plane crash. God damn, dude. But yeah, too soon, Yellow Flash. Too soon.
Man, you're gonna end up like Robert De Niro, where people resent you, or you're gonna end up like your co-star Mark Hamill, who everybody makes fun of. There's a really funny meme where it shows all of the actors who are still like all the Star Wars actors in a picture, and it shows those that have passed away as Force ghosts. And inside Mark's head, they have his brain.
That's a good one,
because that's a Force ghost now too.
Yeah, that is a really good one. I want to do that's a good one.
That's one of the funnier ones. This is a bad idea. I don't think it's good for actors to get involved in politics because, number one, nobody gives a shit. Nobody listens. The only people that are listening are the ones that are on your side in the divide. Then you potentially turn off customers on the other side. And Hollywood needs as many people as possible to go to these movies. One of them, who used to be really outspoken, seems to have realized that. And that would be Jennifer Lawrence, who has a movie coming out. So as a movie comes...
Wait, what's that title? I want to see what the title of this article is. By the Bright Part. Is that Bright? Is that really how they spelt Bright? Why? Like, other than we want to be cute and quirky and then our name be different. Why? Jennifer Lawrence says criticizing Trump adds fuel to the fire, ripping the country apart. Celebrities don't make a difference on who people vote for. I tend to beg a differ. It depends. Like, someone tried making this argument too during elections when I commented on another content creator who like said who they voted for. You know, they said they voted for Kamala, and I was like, you shouldn't really be saying who you voted for because it will influence your audience and whatnot. And I think you should wait till after the elections to disclose who you voted for. And some dude was like, do you really believe this guy saying who he voted for is gonna affect anything? And I'm like, he's a content creator, he's an influencer. By default, his opinions influence other people's actions because that's what he is for a job. So yes. And if you think that there aren't people who follow these influencers, whether it be streamers, YouTubers, or Hollywood actors, there are people out there who are gonna base their vote based off of what their favorite actor or content creator said. And you cannot deny that. To say that, oh, no one's gonna be affected by this is a lie. Because there are people who wait for these individuals, these public figures, to give out their opinions, and then they form their own opinions based off of that. So yeah, you do make a difference on who people vote for. It's just that the people who are voting for the people you're voting for are typically already voting for that candidate to begin with. They're just you're just more so validating their vote because, oh, teehee, my favorite celebrity voted for the person that I was going to vote for. But there are individuals who are out there who will hear what you say and will be like, well, I was on the fence, but after hearing what you said about this or seeing who you voted for, I'm going to vote the same way. There are people who think like that and apply that type of logic. And if you deny those people exist, then you're just ignorant as fuck.
Tours. And she's doing an interview with the interview. It's a New York Times outlet, I believe. And she talks to this woman and says, I kind of regret shooting my mouth off all the time. I don't think anybody listened to me. I didn't make a difference. And all I did was hurt the movies that I was a part of. And she says, here's the quote, celebrities don't make a difference on who people vote for. That's 100% true. She says that criticizing Trump just fuels fire to something that's already ripping the country apart, which is true. Nobody wants to hear Mark Ruffalo, for example, one of the biggest turds in Hollywood. Complete moron. A complete idiot.
Bro, what is it with people named Mark just doing like career suicide and whatnot? We got Mark Ruffalo, who's out here being like, oh yeah, I'm gonna be internet fucking social justice warrior white knight. Then we have Mark fucking Hamill be like, yeah, I'm gonna be internet fucking social justice warrior white knight. Who's the next Mark that's gonna fall? What other Mark's gonna join them? Mark Zuckerberg? Although I guess Zuckerberg isn't a Hollywood actor. He's the CEO of Facebook and whatnot. But shit. What's that other Mark? Crap. I forgot. I know exactly who I'm thinking of. I just forgot his last name.
He is a hollow shell. And he runs his mouth all the time, sucking Democrat dick. He's sucking them off all the time. And I think all that does is turn people off.
I'm an idiot. I don't know why I thought Matt Damon, his name was Mark Damon. Probably because of his name in The Martian, where it's Mark Watney.
The Marvel movies. I do. I think him being in Spider-Man, what's it called? Brand New Day. I think that's a mistake. Like, I am a huge Spider-Man fan. Have almost every issue of Amazing Spider-Man. Been reading that run since I was a kid. Love Spider-Man. As most people do. He's like the most popular superhero comic book character in existence.
Yeah, to think that Spider-Man almost didn't exist as well is wild. Like, genuinely. What's the premise of Spider-Man Brand New Day? Okay, cool. There's nothing there. what are they gonna do with? I mean, I'm just curious as to what they're gonna do with Spider-Man moving forward, because like I love Spider-Man. I love Tom Holland. I feel like he plays a quirky you know Spider-Man, a nice little mix of Spider-Man and Peter, you know. Whereas Toby played a really good Peter Parker, and then forget what that other Andrew Garfield. Andrew Garfield played a really good Spider-Man. I feel like Tom Holland is a nice little mix of both. But it's like, unless, in my opinion, unless you plan to introduce Venom to the big screen again, like, you know, like redo Venom after Tobey Maguire's Venom and Spider-Man 3, I feel like you what can you really focus on? I mean, you could do the Sinister Six. That'd be cool. But you already did Vulture in Spider-Man Homecoming, I believe. You also, what was the first Spider-Man about? The last one was no. Crap, shit. No Way Home was Mysterio. What the fuck me, dude? Let's see. Oh, it was Homecoming. Never mind. Okay, so yeah, Homecoming with Vulture. Yeah, never mind, never mind. I don't know why I thought his first Spider Tom Holland's was just Spider-Man. But I mean, I guess they have done it. Then there was Far From Home with Mysterio, and then there was No Way Home with yeah, with all the villains. Yeah. But like I said, they already did Vulture for the Sinister Six. So it's like, I want to see Venom, because like we saw that at the end of No Way Home, there's a fragment of Venom in Spidey's universe, like a piece of the symbiote in Tom Holland's Spider-Man universe. So we have already established that Venom exists. So I'm just waiting for Venom, like a good Venom. Like Sony's Venom for Venom was great as like the anti-hero. But like we lose that Venom. Venom dies at the end. Unless, you know, he somehow comes back. But we saw Venom die, and we sort of know that Venom dies. The ending still confuses me with like how Eddie wakes up and whatnot, and he like he knows that Venom's gone, but like because they talked about that whole mind thing and how if you remember someone then they're never actually gone, he's like looking at the painting, and then he goes into like this weird acid nirvana trip, and it's like that just confused the ever living shit out of me. That part I didn't get that. And it's like, I'll remember you, buddy, at the end, and then it like pans out and Eddie's all alone and shit. But then we see like the guy at the end escape from the thing, the lab where they had all the symbiotes. Sorry, this is gonna be a long ass video. But we saw there that that guy had still a piece of Venom on him because there was a fragment of Venom in the military prison. So like that fragment should bring Venom back, right? It's like this is why it's so confusing, man. Whatever, let's move on.
Distance next to Batman. So yeah, I'm nobody special in that, but I think like him being a part of that movie. I'm gonna be honest, personally, I really don't know if I want to see it because I'm so sick of his face. Now, the Punisher being in it, that sounds great. I don't understand the need to have.
All I say is, if you don't want to pay to go watch it, you could just wait like 2 weeks for it to like release on some third party site in like full HD. If anything, if you don't want to go watch it, that's what I would do. Just so that way you can still see it, but not pay money for it. Just put on an ad blocker and you don't got to worry about ads either. That's all I say about that.
The Hulk in it, but whatever. Mark Ruffalo's going to be in that movie. Will that affect the box office? I don't know.
You know what would be funny? If they're announcing that he's in the movie, like he's gonna play this massive part in the movie, but all he is at the end in the fucking end credit scene, and it's just like an introduction to like Planet Hulk or some shit.
It's tough to say. I never thought Marvel movies would be in the position they are in, to be honest. But here we are. I mean, so many bad movies, like one after another.
Well, the issue is they rode the high of not only COVID, but they also rode the high of everyone being hyped as fuck for Infinity War and Endgame. Okay. Model broke. Internet still connected. Okay, that's odd. Whatever. But everyone was hyped for those movies, so they made a lot of money off of those. Especially because the earlier Marvel movies, before whoever was in charge, actually showed that they had like a lot of love for the movies and a lot of love for the attention to detail. So it's like all of that feels like it's just gone downhill drastically, not only with like the quality of like the movie, but like the costumes also feel like they've gone down in quality. The sets also feel like they went down in quality. And let's not even get into how some of these storylines just make no sense whatsoever when you think about it and actually break them down. Just like, what? Wanda throwing a temper tantrum over some kids that never existed. Her taking the mouth of what's his name? Of the dude from the Illuminati, and that somehow killing him also makes no sense whatsoever, because he's supposed to be cool, calm, and collected at all times to ensure that he doesn't accidentally speak, and that's gonna trigger him. Him losing his mouth is gonna be what breaks him. I don't know. It's like, it's just all bad. They've all just been bad.
Pedro Pascal and the stupid shit he says.
Oh my God.
I wonder if that hurts.
Let's not get into fucking weirdo PP Pascal, There we go. Model's working again. Let's not get into him, okay? That dude's weird enough as is, touching other dudes' wives in front of them in this weird sexual way without consent. Like, let's not get into him.
The Fantastic Four box office. Did it? Did it not? I don't know. I'll tell you what, there's probably some people that didn't go see that movie. In fact, we know that some people didn't. A lot of people didn't go see that movie. But anyway.
I didn't see that movie, and I love the Fantastic Four. That was my childhood shit.
Let's listen to what she had to say. It's right at the end of the interview, and it's funny that they use that as the title for their YouTube video. The YouTube video itself is Jennifer Lawrence regrets everything she's ever said. Maybe she does. Let's listen.
And it's a good idea. It's not a bad idea.
What do you mean?
A revolution.
You have been politically outspoken.
She's talking about one battle after another there, and she likes it. And keep in mind, she is very left. I think she's just a little wiser now. And
wow. You're telling me the actress that played someone who's quite literally painted blue throughout the entire filming of the movie is blue leaning? Wow, who would have thought that? Now, obviously, I know there's no correlation. I just find it funny that she's, heavy Democrat leaning, and their color is blue, but she also played Mystique, and her skin color is blue. I just find that funny, okay? I know there's no real correlation.
Hey, maybe I should just sell movies, and if I'm going to say something, I'll let the movie do it. I think that's fair.
In the past, in the first Trump administration, you had a lot to say.
which is true.
I'm curious how you feel about talking out now.
I don't really know if I should. I think like the first Trump administration was.
I'm going to rewind that back a little bit, but keep on what she said there. She said, I don't think that I should. I shouldn't speak out. She's going to get canceled.
And yet she probably is still going to speak out right now. She's probably going to give her input, a little bit of input, even after stating that. I would have just said, I'd rather not talk about this subject. That's about it.
Canceled for this, probably. Well, they'll try, but you should be speaking out. No. All she's doing is hurting her projects by doing that. It's stupid.
The first Trump administration was so wild, and just how can we let this stand? Like, I felt like I was running around like a chicken with my head cut off. But as we've learned, election after election, celebrities do not.
Yeah, as we learned, it could always get worse. We got 4 years of Biden.
make a difference whatsoever on who people vote for.
Thank you for finally realizing that. These influencers don't really change anybody's mind. They don't. They haven't really been able to do that in a long time, especially in today's.
I'd say they, for every, I'd want to say for every million people that see their political take, maybe this is a hard, maybe one, at most two, will probably have their opinion swayed by their favorite actor. But those are only like dedicated hardcore type fans, you know, the people who will like the Swifties, if you will. But as we've seen, even Taylor Swift isn't immune from criticism of the Swifties, you know. But yeah, it's just to say that they influence no one, I feel like is you're not giving them enough credit. I feel like they do influence at least a person here or there, you know. Every now and then there is that gullible individual that does listen to whatever their favorite content creator or favorite streamer or favorite actor says, and will probably take it to heart. I mean, hell, you can see it in like fucking in certain spaces like Hassan's space, you know. All of his fans take everything, his diehard loyal fans take everything he says to heart and, you know, never question him. He can do no wrong. Same thing with VTubers as well. You see it a lot of the times with a lot of the popular VTubers. They'll say something that is, you know, not exactly good. And then everyone else will criticize them, but their most loyal diehard fans will be the ones that, you know, defend them and, you know, agree with their opinion. You see this everywhere. So they do change some people's minds, depending. It just depends on the situation, the individual, and the individual whose mind is being changed.
Current age, the age of the movie star is dead. And you can really see that in a lot of the box office receipts, you know, look at one battle after another. Huge names in that movie. Did not move the needle at all. Nobody went and watched that movie. Huge flop. Will not make its money
I didn't even hear about that movie.
back. The age of the movie star is dead. You know, there was a time when you could put a bunch of big names in a movie, it would sail to the stars. Not anymore. All you do when you speak out like you do, like Jennifer Lawrence said, is piss people off. That's all you accomplish. You don't accomplish anything. You coming out like Robert De Niro, right? Think about how that man has ruined his legacy. All he's ever do, anytime you ever hear Robert De Niro talk.
I don't even know anything about that man, not gonna lie. I literally Googled who Robert De Niro was, and I'm like, who the fuck is this? Like, genuinely. All I could think of myself was, who is this guy and why should I care?
I want to fight. If I ever see Trump, I'm going to punch him in the face.
Oh, he's one of those.
First
Never
off,
mind.
80-something-year-old Robert De Niro. Any punch you land, man.
Yeah. 80-year-old throwing a punch at another 80-year-old. Yeah, we'll see how that blows over.
I don't know if it's going to hurt anybody. You look like you live a very sedentary life now. You don't move, I don't think. So I really don't think your punches are going to have much weight behind them. It's a joke. You probably throw your back out, punch in a bag once.
And so then what am I doing? I'm just sharing my opinion on something that's going to just add fuel to a fire that's ripping the country apart. I mean, we are so...
Which is what it does. All it does is rip the country apart. At least she seems to care about that. A lot of these actors don't give a shit. Like, look at Jimmy Kimmel, that sellout piece of shit. No ratings. Nobody's watching his show.
Jimmy Kimmel? I could be thinking of a different person. Okay, it is, yeah. The fact that they actually still brought back his show, even though no one was watching it, is wild. I feel like the whole stuff that he did, like the whole thing with Charlie Kirk and him like getting his show canceled for like a day, I feel like that would have been the perfect excuse to just get rid of his show entirely and just do something else, do something different.
Dude gets up there just like he did with Kirk and trying to get everybody riled up when he got pulled off the air. That guy is a great example of putting fuel on the fire. Now, thankfully, nobody listens to him. So, if anything, it's like...
I mean, someone listened. His show got put back up. So, it just got I think it got put up at like an even later or earlier time slot when no one else is going to be watching. Or, like I said, I think, the key word, they could have gone back up at its normal time. But regardless, even if it goes back up at the normal time, we already know that no one's watching. So, why is anyone going to go back to watching something they weren't watching to begin with?
Fluid inside a lighter. It's not a gas can. It's just a little bit
divided. I think I'm in a complicated recalibration because I'm also an artist, and with this temperature and the way that things can turn out, I don't want to start turning people off to films and to art that could change consciousness or change the world because they don't like my...
I'm gonna be real with you. Your movies aren't changing anyone. Not gonna lie. Like, and this isn't me attacking her as an actress. This is more so me attacking the writing department of all this shit. Because the scripts and the writing of these movies is just fucking atrocious. Which is one of the major reasons why no one goes to theaters anymore and just waits for it to release on a streaming platform. Because it's like, why go? Because like for like what, the past 2 years, movies have just been terrible with the writing. Every now and then we'll get a golden gem, but every movie so far has been either lazy woke news story or lazy live action adaptation, wokeified to suit the modern audience. It's either one of those two. Every now and then we'll get something cool, interesting, and creative, but for the most part, the movies fall under those two categories. And if that's what the movies are going to be, and you don't want to go to the movie theater to be lectured on, on these topics, then why would you go to the movies in general, regardless of who the casting is? I doubt that if they had, changed the casting of Cats from the people that they used to like big names like Harrison Ford, Mark Hamill, and Robert Downey Jr., people still wouldn't have gone to go see that movie, My
political opinions. I want to protect my craft.
Smart.
So that you can still get lost in what I'm...
So you can still have escapism. Thank you for realizing that. It's very important. It's important for people to have things to sit down and...
She cracked the code, ladies and gentlemen. She realized that people don't go to watch movies or listen to music to be lectured. They do it, or play video games to be lectured, although I doubt she's even contemplating video games. But in terms of movies and music, they go to what? To disassociate from reality as an escape form. Wow, round of applause for the actress who figured it out before all of Hollywood.
Wind with. You don't know how much that helps people. This is what got me into even doing any of this kind of stuff. It's like escapism is an important thing. Think about everybody out there that doesn't live privileged lives like Jennifer Lawrence and all these other actors who work hard, work long shifts, 2 jobs, kids.
Bro, at the warehouse, we just got off of having to do 6 days. So yeah, and that's only for this week. I think that's literally just gonna be as a little test drive to see how it affects productivity if we go back to working only 5 days and having 2 days off, as opposed to doing 6 days, 1 day off. The mandatory 6th day overtime. So it's like, bro, yeah, like I barely have enough time to do the things that I want to do to relax and whatnot when I get home from work. It's like the last thing I want to do is boot up something that I think might be entertaining for me to relax to, only to be, as I said, lectured on the intricacies of sexual orientation in Feed-Eye. Because, if a little kid can determine its sexual orientation, next thing you know, we're going to start going after babies in the womb. Or they're going to start going after babies in the womb, rather. It's like, bro, it's just dumb. It's just dumb. It's like, bro, I didn't boot up fucking goddamn. I don't boot up Call of Duty to play as Nicki Minaj and start twerking on people. I play Call of Duty to shoot people and, kick ass and S&D and talk shit.
All of just life's things. How great is it when you can finally sit down and watch that show or that movie or play that video game, and you can finally just get away from all of the nonsense. And then you turn on that nonsense and it's just more lectures, more bullshit. Yep. That's one of the biggest problems in Western entertainment in general.
Yeah, like imagine you get laid off, and the reason you get laid off from your work is because your lesbian coworker is the biggest bitch on the planet. And she makes being a lesbian her entire identity. And she dresses as a stereotypical lesbian, And she gets your ass fired. But the reason why you get fired is something that she does on a daily basis. So it's holier than thou. Rules for thee, but not for me type situation. Then you go home and you boot up fucking Spider-Man Miles Morales. You're almost done with 100%ing the game. You're on one final achievement, and then boom, it's the one achievement that forces you to interact with Pride. I'd be like, you know what? Fuck this shit.
It's just more nonsense. Nobody wants it. They just want to escape, especially in today's day and age with inflation and just, the inability for some people to even do anything outside their home.
He brought up inflation. So yeah, money is a really good point, especially because he brought up video games like I was stating. You got these AAA companies wanting to also sell you games that I wouldn't even say are halfway finished. They're like a quarter of the way done with the game. They're 25% on the way there. They release it, and they'll release it like that, and then they'll charge you between $80 to $120 for it. And you're just sitting there like, what the fuck? You spend the $80, you buy the game, you play it, and then you can't even actually play it. You want to know why? Because it keeps crashing. Every time you try to boot it up, it crashes. You figure out why it crashes, you fix that issue, then you boot it up, and then you realize that the game is utter garbage. Why? Because it's missing like 75% of the content that's going to be released through patches. sound familiar? That's because it's happened to a lot of games that have come out recently. Hell, the farthest back example I can think of like the most recent game that did this was, or rather, the first example I can think of was New World Atrium. New World, Amazon's, it was supposed to be Amazon's best fucking MMORPG. It was gonna like break so many walls or some shit like that, and it was gonna like break other games in the same genre, the ESO competitor. What did it do? Oh, it released, and it's like it released with like 75 to 50% of the content missing. You had to wait for it to patches. People got so disinterested so fast because of all the bugs. Stuff was unbalanced as shit. And it's like, okay, cool. Then you wait 3 months, they put out a major update that doesn't really do any major changes. But hey, at least they added one new area that you can go and explore now. But oh wait, they introduced 5 more bugs. Great. So it's like when stuff releases like that, why pay all that money for a subpar product? Like, yeah, sure, you could say, oh well, No Man's Sky did it, but yeah, but the difference between that, between these games and No Man's Sky, is that No Man's Sky was pushed by Sony to release the game on their release date. The dev team, to my knowledge, wanted to push the release date back because they didn't have everything that they promised in there, and they wanted to at least have a majority of the stuff that they promised in there. But Sony was like, no, you're releasing it on this day, and they had no choice. And to this day, they are still pushing fucking banger update after banger update for No Man's Sky. Like, they inevitably added all the stuff in, but the game only became popular after the game had been essentially completed, and developers are still updating the game and listening to the players. You can't say that about a game like New Worlds, because you see it in the complaints, in the negative reviews, people actively being like, oh, the developers aren't even trying anymore, and they aren't even listening to the players, they're just doing what they want. And they're not listening to the small player base that is still there actively playing the game. And that's the major difference. It's like, if No Man's Sky stopped releasing updates today, everyone would be okay with it, especially after the last update they just released, which was the customizable ships and the interior ships, and being able to invite your friends into your ship so that way they could see how you decorated it. If they stopped releasing updates after that, they'd be set. They'd be golden. No one would complain anymore. But they're probably still going to keep on releasing updates, and people are inevitably going to be like, yo, you can stop releasing updates. You know that, right? You don't have to. They're going to be like, yeah, but we just feel like it's the right thing to do.
Because they can't afford it. It's a very important thing, I would argue. It's a problem with the right in general, is they have never really understood that until recently. I think some of them are finally taking entertainment seriously. But it is a very important thing. Escapism, getting away from it, unwinding. These are important things that keep people from breaking.
What I'm doing.
Again with pause. Tis I, Sir Posington. But I just want to say, this is one of the reasons why anime is so popular. It's because anime doesn't, involve IRL politics in itself. It's all fake. It's all make believe. They make it so that way people watch it and disassociate, And if you want to be lectured, they have their own entire category for being lectured on the intricacies of life and being human, called slice of life animes. So it's like they have everything for everything. And the only thing they don't touch is like Western politics and Western ideology, and that's what makes it so popular.
What I'm showing, and if I can't say something that's going to speak to some kind of peace or lowering the temperature or some sort of solution, I just don't want. I don't want to be a part of the problem. I don't want to make the problem worse.
It's good. That's pretty well said, I think. And you should just want to make it worse. What's the solution? None of these people offer solutions. Their solution now is to fight and attack people.
Yeah. The sad thing is, actors that are taking this stance, like Jennifer Lawrence, their solution will more likely than anything be to not do anything. And by not doing anything, I mean them not doing anything and not speaking out on anything. Essentially locking themselves in a safe and never stepping outside and just doing their own thing inside the safe. That's essentially probably what she means by probably what she's going to do, where she's probably just not going to talk about this stuff ever again and only focus on like her content, like her movies. If she makes music, then her music, whatever it is that she's making. She's just going to prioritize her way to make money, is what I guess I'm trying to say. Her financial security, that's a better way to put it. She's going to prioritize her financial security and her own well-being, as opposed to putting first whatever is on the political chopping block.
There's no solution to anything. It's my way or the highway.
I saw you at a press conference recently when you were speaking about Gaza, point to our elected officials as the people who need to be responsible for answering those questions and not putting that on actors and other celebrities to sort of take a stand.
Yeah, just like if it's like looking at a chess.
She's going to get shit for that. I'm surprised
Probably.
that didn't go more viral. But she's right.
Yeah, I mean, she has 100% a point. This is realistically, what can celebrities fucking do? It's not like they have this magic phone that you know, when they pick it up and they press one button, it automatically dials the president of the United States, and they can be like, "Hey, Mr. President, this is bad. The people are coming to me to tell you." No, they don't have that. They're just extremely rich people. That's all they are. They're not in positions of power in terms of government. They can't really do anything. Like they have as much power over the government as you and me do when, you know, if we were to call like our elected officials, like our local senators and, you know, the governor and shit like that, the governor's office, to like voice our complaints. That's about as much as they can do as well. So it's like, she has a point. She shouldn't be looking towards celebrities to talk about these issues. You should be looking towards the government elected officials that are put in those positions by the people to be giving us the answers that we are looking for when we turn to people like celebrities and content creators.
Who wants to hear from an actor on any of this shit? None of them know what they're talking about.
Sport, you know, you just watch.
Most of them went to like theater school. They didn't learn any kind of political strategy, political science, nothing. They learned how to.
Bro, I went to a high school in the ghetto and did not pursue a further education, my guy. And I feel like sometimes I know what I'm talking about more than some of these actors on the issues that they, you know, that they present themselves to care about. And I'm just like, huh? What? Come again? I'm just like, why are you stating this? You know this is gonna backfire on you, right? If you like if you genuinely believe it, that's fine. State what you believe. But like, we know they don't believe this stuff. They're just going with whatever will get them the most likes on social media and whatever is most popular in their groups at the time. So it's like, genuinely, whatever.
Write scripts and audition for shows. They're not qualified to speak on anything, but they do constantly.
Watch these actors' faces who have had incredible careers.
Well, it's not to mention that these actors also have one of the most powerful unions in America. You know, SAG-AFTRA, that has somehow this fucking hold on a lot of these industries.
And done amazing things and made incredible contributions.
Like Robert De Niro.
That all of a sudden one half of the internet, or one half of the country just can't stand anymore. They don't want to see their face anymore because of blah, 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 blah. And I get so upset for those people, those actors, and it just feels so wrong.
But they do it themselves. There's a lot of actors like Mark Hamill. I used to love Mark Hamill because I used to love Star Wars, but I really don't like him anymore. And
yeah, I agree. It's like, bro, the Batman the Animated Series was my shit growing up. I love the Joker in that fucking show. And then same thing with Avatar. You know, Mark Hamill plays the Joker in the Batman Animated Series, and Mark Hamill plays fucking Zuko's dad, Firelord Ozai, in Atla. And it's like, I love those characters. And it's like, but I fucking hate Mark Hamill as a person because of his idiotic political opinion. And, you know, and that's fine. Because, like, someone could hate me for my political opinions, think that my political opinions are idiotic, and that's completely fine as well. You know? But it's like, but that doesn't mean I cannot enjoy the characters that person has played. It's just that, you know, I prefer the character as opposed to the real person, because at the end of the day, that is a character in a TV show or that they played, or movie, not them as an actual person in real life. Like, shit. We have crap, what's his name? Crap. I don't want to say a random name and then get it wrong. Let's see here. Oh, you suck. Oh. Daniel Radcliffe. Okay, so you have Daniel Radcliffe, and he goes into a movie, and he plays what? He plays a racist? Or like he plays a cop who then has to go undercover and pretend to be a racist to infiltrate this like clan group, I think, or this group of anti-Semites. That doesn't mean that just because he played a racist doesn't mean that Daniel Radcliffe is an actual racist IRL.
it's the same with a lot of Robert De Niro, man. I was a huge fan of him. He's been in some of the greatest movies ever made. Godfather 2, Goodfellas, Raging
Those
Bull,
are old.
Taxi Driver.
I've never heard
looking at his face anymore.
I've never heard of any of those movies, not gonna lie. I've heard of the Godfather. I didn't know there was a Godfather 2, not gonna lie.
Because he's so damn insane.
So I don't know. I try to express myself and my politics through my work. I made a documentary called Bread and Roses about the Taliban retakeover in Afghanistan, and Zorofsky versus Texas about the abortion ban. Pretty much a lot of my movies coming out from my production company are expressions of the political landscape. That's how I feel like I can be helpful. That's how.
Bro, someone needs to tell that truck in the background to shut the fuck up and stop backing up.
I feel like I can.
Let the work
I don't
do
know.
the talking. I'm okay with that. Sitting here doing interviews where you're saying like, I'm gonna fight Trump. That doesn't do shit.
No.
All you do is turn people off. But at least to the people looking for that kind of a documentary, that's fine. I don't think, and if there's, I would assume, more qualified people.
National Geographic.
So whatever. I think actors need to just shut up and dance and do their jobs and provide relief for people looking.
Shut up and dance, monkey. I don't give a damn about your political speak.
Looking for it through entertainment, no matter who they are. But a lot of them have been pretty clear. They don't want you. In fact, they want you dead. She seems to have grown up a little bit. Probably has to do with the fact that she took some time off and raised her kids with her husband. And now she's back. She hasn't really been acting that much. I know she's done some stuff. And to be fair, she says some pretty dumb stuff. Like, what was it? Not that long ago, she was calling herself the first action star woman.
The what?
Shit. Clearly, Despite maybe she's a very nice person, I don't know. I've never met.
Oh, I know exactly what he's talking about. I think we reacted to that as well. Yeah, she was like going on some weird rant about being like the first woman who was also like an action star or some shit like that. And everyone started pointing to like women in older films that were in action movies way and saying that she's not the first woman to play in an action in a role that involves action. Like, you have literally the oldest I can think of would have to be either Ellen Ripley, the actress who played Ellen Ripley in all three Aliens movies, or rather all four Alien movies, if you include Requiem as part of the trio, because you know, Alien 1, 2, and 3. It's not Alien 4, it's Requiem. So I say the first three. But you have her, and you have the actress who played Xena Warrior Princess. So I'm like, those two actresses are like that show Xena and that movie Aliens are far older than Jennifer Lawrence is. They predate her. And she's gonna claim that she's the first. Like, come the fuck on. Come on, get out of here.
Not equipped.
That's like if she shaved her head for a scene in the movie and was like, I'm the first woman to ever shave my head for a role in the movie. It's like, no, I think the first one was the first woman to like voluntarily shave her head for a movie scene that like shocked everyone because she did it of her own accord was, again, the actress who played Ellen Ripley for the movie Aliens 3. And I think when she like walks out on and they all the prisoners see her for the first time and she's like shaven, I think that's their I think, I could be wrong, but I think that's like the cast's actual like reaction to her coming out with like a shaven head, because they hadn't seen her before that. I think, I could be wrong.
To talk about politics, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that. At least now she finally realizes that, right? And she's just gonna do her job and stop trying to rip people apart with no solution. So, you know, if people are willing to change and grow, I'm willing to let things be. So good for her. Good for her, and being one of the only people that will come out and say, maybe we should stop. However, keep in mind, a lot of people that do that get like attacked. So I wonder if she's going to get attacked over this now. Anyway, we'll see. Let me know what you guys think about all this in the comments. Also, if you would, please like, subscribe, share the video. Make sure you're still subscribed. Hit that notification bell, and we'll see you on the next one. Peace.
What is going on with my eyes there at the end? Like, I'm not blinking, and my model's like blink, 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 weird blink. But yeah, like he said, I hope she doesn't get any shit for this, because genuinely this is the mentality that actors should have. But at the same time, we know exactly how these types of people can be. So yeah. But I also believe that, you know, all actors should share that mentality of like, I'm just gonna do my own thing. I'm not gonna get involved in politics. But yeah, fucking hell, dude. More bow shit, like, dude. Oh my god, dude. Genuinely, what is it with 2025 and all these content creators wanting to just fucking blow up their means of making money, not in a good way. Like, they're just destroying their own careers. But yeah, if you enjoyed the video, like, comment, subscribe, and all that YouTube jazz, and I'll catch y'all in the next one later.